Shalom Evracha, welcome to the weekly Shia in the Heilige Sefer Zera Shimshon Zchusi Yagan Aleinu. Today is Yom Hey, Thursday Pashas, Devarim Beis L'Chodesh Av Tavshin Pei Vav. We always mention that we learn this Heilige Sefer Zera Shimshon in order to be Zoicha to Shefa Bracha. When it is a Midas Hadin, when it is a Midas HaTzimtzum, there's many things that a person can do to open up that Tzimtzum and to be Mashpia Bracha. These days of Yemei Bein Hamtzarim and Yemei Tishras Hayomim are days of Din, days of Tzimtzum, and the avoider is to be Mahapeich, the Din Terachim, which means to open up the tap, to open up the source of Shefa, to bring Bracha in a place where it's Shoyla, the opposite of Bracha. We're learning It's Hashem, the second piece in this week's Parsha Zera Shimshon, and we'll have a new insight how one can be Mashpia Bracha, and one can be Zoicha to Zara Chaya V'Kayoma, that a person can multiply and have children and Einiklach and Ureiniklach, and to be Zoicha to a Rivi. Let's learn this fundamental Yesodus Digashtikkel here in Zera Shimshon. The Pasuk says, Moshe Rabbeinu benches Klal Yisrael, and he says the Pasuk, HaShem Elekeichem Hir Be'eschem. The Eibishter was marbe you, made you multiply. Zesh Amakosuf, says the Medrash. This is what the Pasuk says. Eshtachave el heichel kadshecha b'yirasecha. This is the Pasuk that says, I will bow down in front of the Eibishter in fear. V'hu tema. What's the connection? What's the shaykhas? What has one got to do with the other? We talk about Hashem Elekeichem Hir Be'eschem, and here we bring a pasuk of Hishtachavav, bowing down to the Eibishter. The Yuvan says Zera Shimshon, the Isa Medrash ala pasuk. There's a fundamental medrash in the pasuk by the Akedah. V'nishtachavav v'noshiva aleichem. Zog the medrash Amr Yitzchak. Hakoil b'zchus hishtachava. Everything comes as a result of somebody that bows down to the Eibishter. Avram lechazem ha'mariyah. Avraham Avinu came back from ha'mariyah alive and well, b'zchus hishtachava, because he bowed down to Hashem. Yisrael nigalu, Klal Yisrael were redeemed from Mitzrayim, ela b'zchus hishtachava, because we bow down, as the pasuk says, Vayamein ha'am vayiktu v'yishtachavu. HaTorah le'nitna. The Torah was given to Klal Yisrael, the greatest gift ever, b'zchus hishtachava, as it says, v'shtachavisa merochik. Hagolus eina miskansois. We won't get out of this golus ela b'zchus hishtachava, when we will bow down. Shnema yitake b'shofar gadol v'yishtachavu la'Hashem b'har hakodesh v'Yerushalayim. Then we get out of golus. Beis Hamikdash lenivna ela b'zchus hishtachava. Beis Hamikdash will be built when we bow down. Shnema roimu Hashem Elokeinu v'yishtachvu la'Kodshay. Hameisem einam chayim. Tchias hameisem is going to happen. B'zchus hishtachava. Shnema boyu nishtachvev nichra nivrucha lefnei Hashem oiseinu. This is the Meisem talking. Says the Zera Shimshon Metzinu v'Shulchan Aruch that we have a problem nowadays. We can't really do hishtachava, as it says in Shulchan Aruch. Asel l'chal adam lipal al paneim b'pishet yadayim regleim. It's asel for a person to lie down totally b'hishtachava afil an inch of evamaskis. And the Shach al Torah writes, she'ikir hishtachava hu l'shem hamyuchad. The ikir hishtachava is when we are in the presence of the Eibishter's name, the Shem Yuchad, where we can mention the Eibishter's name properly. Or is there hishtachava hoisa b'soich Yerushalayim, the Beis Hamikdash. The ikir hishtachava was in the Beis Hamikdash. Now we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, so we can't do hishtachava. And this reminds us of the famous words of the Balatanya and the Siddur that many quote. We say, because of our Averas, we went into exile. It's impossible for us to do what? We can't be Mekayim Mitzvahs Re'iyah, I get it. But we also say, it's impossible for us to bow down in front of the Eibishter. Why is that so? When we're talking about Tisha B'Av, crying about the Beis Hamikdash, what we are lacking without a Beis Hamikdash is that we cannot do hishtachava. We can't bow down. Ein anach yecholim l'shtachvis lefanecha. And this shach explains that. Hishtachava can only be done when a person's in touch with the Shem HaMyuchad. But on a deeper level, there's an oimik why we can't do Hishtachava. The concept of Hishtachava means bittul, hachna gemura. We will do this on Yom Kippur, once in Rosh Hashanah, Hishtachava, even that's not complete. But ultimately, a person has to understand that a Yid is supposed to be mishtachve. Something goes wrong in your life, the Hishtachava approach is to say, Gamzu l'toiva. I'm mekabel this, I'm accepting this, and I don't have my own opinions, and I don't have my own ritzoinus. That's Hishtachava. When we have Hishtachava, then we get bracha, then we get Beis HaMikdash, then we get out of Galus, and then Avraham Avinu is able to come back, and that's the secret to all success. When a person has Hishtachava, which means he's mevatel to the Eibishter, there's no chatzitza, there's no hefsuk in him and Hashem, and then he is zoiche to Allah hashpoas tovus. And the Zera Shimshon explains this further. We have Shloima. I'm skipping out 2 paragraphs to explain this concept. Shadavi yedua eitzel mekibolim. In the Sifrei Kabbalah, they tell us sheharibu hu mitzad kedusha. When you want something to become more, then you have to be in touch with kedusha. V'hamiut hu mitzad klippa. When a thing shrinks, that's when there's no kedusha. Ukeshiyesh haribui, when there's a lot, is a simon that there's a kedusha being shoylet, or the bitla klippa. Or the fizeh apshat pasuk. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Klal Yisrael, Hashem lekechem hirbe eschem, which means shehirchik achiz achitzonim. You're away from the dark side, and you connected to the source of ribi, which is kedusha. Says Zera Shimshon. How is Zoichet this Rabbi? How is Zoichet to multiply? Hishtachava connects us to the Kedusha. No Hishtachava connects us to the Klippa. The reason why Moshe Rabbeinu was able to give us a bracha that we were Zoichet to Rabbi, the fact that we became more was because of Hishtachava, because Hishtachava is Kedusha. When there's a shtachava, then you get rid of klippa, get rid of dark side, get rid of dinim. That's what happens with shtachava. This is the key. Shtachava connects to kedusha. Kedusha brings ribui, brings tesefes, brings more. Kedusha naturally becomes more and more. Hepach klippa. El acher the avodah zara, which is klippa, is staris l'avad peirin. Umisham kishachaz Avraham Avinu Mahamariah. When Avraham Avinu came back from Hamariah, and there it says v'neshtachem v'neshiv aleichem, there was a level of ishtachava by the maimon of the Akedah, which is bittul agamor. He was told, harba arbe zaracha, you will be zoicha to many, many children that will be a ribi atzum. Why? You have a shtachava. You have a shtachava, you have kedusha. You have a shtachava, you have a ribi. V'chev Yisrael b'Har Sinai. Har Sinai, there was a concept of a shtachava. Shar Sinai dikar mimikra param. Sheparu v'rabu Yisrael alav. There was zoicha to many children. In Perish Rashi, shkol echad nisabra ishtoi v'yalda zachar. B'schus shtachava. They bowed down at Har Sinai, and this is the Na'asav and Nishma. They came back from Har Sinai. Every single woman became me'uberes with a ben zachar. Rubi comes from Ishtachava. There was a sin of the Ayin Gimel Amud. The first bracha stayed intact, and that's why it says in the Medrash, beautiful pshat, pashta pshat. Hashem Elokeichem hirba eschem, says Moshe Rabbeinu. The Eibishter multiplied you. One yid became 10 kids. 100 Einiklach. 1,000 Einiklach. How's that? Zesh Amakosov. Eshtachme El Heichel Kodshecham Yersecha. Medrash is explaining what caused Ribu, what causes Shefa, what causes children Zara Chai Bekiyama as a result of Ishtachava. And that's what this Medrash is telling us. And this is the key to get out of Dinim, to stop Tzimtzum, to bring Pruravu, comes when there's Ishtachava. And our whole life we're being challenged with this concept of a shtachavah. Are we mevatel ourselves to the Eibishter, or we're not ready to mevatel? And this is the challenge of our life. The more a person has emunah and he accepts the Eibishter's judgment and he accepts what the Eibishter does, he's mishtach with the Eibishter, then he's zochel Hashem elakechem hibreschem. And this brings geula and this brings Beis Hamikdash. The problem is it's catch-22 because we can't do the shtachavah fully in Golus without the Shem Yuchad. Einanach yecholim, but we do the most we can. And throughout the Hester Panim, throughout the darkness of our Golus, throughout the lack of seeing the Eibishter navigating this world, Klal Yisrael was zoicha to rise to the occasion and do a shtachavah and say, yes, the Eibishter is a kel mistate. Behind it is the Eibishter. Misase ish v'mistorim v'ani. Then I read name Hashem. Hashem says, I'm going to hide, but you recognize the Eibishter, then you zoicha to all the shefa toiv. And this is the key to brachas Eibishter helfen. Yom me'elu yishapchu l'sos l'simcha, which bezoichet is madrege v'shtachava, bezoichet alle Yiddische Kinder, shu bezoichet mekayim the mitzvah pru revu, beschus this limit of Torah, beschus the heilige Zera Shimshon, zechusay agadol v'akadosh, yagen aleinu v'al kol Yisrael agud Shabbos.